And I'm Rahana Power.
And today we have actor Callan Korpi with us. Hello, Callan.
Hi, everyone. Thanks, Alan and Rahana, for having me on the podcast today. I'm so excited.
We're very excited to have you. We have all sorts of questions and things that we want to discuss with you, but I think we're just going to jump right into our first question, which is my personal favorite, getting to know you on a different level a little bit. Callan, can you tell us something like fun, can you tell something fun and interesting? Like a special, cool skill or talent or something that you're able to like do. Maybe everybody knows you for this. Maybe you just kind of, I was about to say something and then realized it's going to sound creepy. So I'm not going to, because it's not how I meant it, but you know what I mean? Like just anything.
Well, this isn't something that everyone knows me for, but I frequently like talk in different voices and accents and whatnot when I'm having fun at home. But unless I'm, very focused on an accent and like I'm doing it for a particular piece of work, I don't hold them very well. So my friend Lee jokes around. He's like, I'm Callan Korpi. I'm from everywhere. Like, because I'll switch from like Scottish to Minnesotan to Southern to British all in like 2 sentences. And I'm sure it's highly entertaining for someone like him who actually knows these accents and where they're from.
I feel like that's easy to do though too. Like they're like little pieces of each dialect that can just very easily slip into another.
Yeah, and like British and Southern are actually very similar.
Yeah. So I could see that. Are you willing to give us a little taste of any of them? Or
I don't know if any of them will be accurate now. I did once take a British class. Oh boy, well, what am I going to talk about? I really like your red shirt there. Oh, don't you know? It looks really nice. I like the pockets. Are those pockets?
Oh, 2 pockets. I didn't even know that. It's my own shirt.
2 pockets. It's hard to do on the spot. Oh my god. Oh my gosh. Well, I'm just having a sip of water here. Nice long drink of water. Down here in Tennessee. That's probably not a Tennessee accent. I'm going to take that on my word. Like I have to improv and switch between.
Right.
Oh my lordy.
It's like that Who's Line game, like change, like always changing.
And scene.
Love it. Phenomenal. That's a cool cut, by the way, too.
Thank you. I got it in LA on my first like real visit there.
Oh,
Life
fun.
is a movie. Direct it well.
Oh, I love that.
Touche.
Super fun.
Pulled it out just for this.
Well, Callan, are you like into anything specifically these days? Like, especially now that we've all kind of been encapsulated for most, especially in winter, but
confined.
Well, I'm really into pajamas these days. I think a lot of us are. I get to work from home sometimes when I want to. So some days I just don't feel like getting ready and I just hang out and make phone calls in my PJs. So I'm definitely into jammies. And, binge watching Netflix and other streaming platforms. I think that's gotten a lot of us.
Oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
What's your like go-to right now? I feel like over the last couple of years, everybody's like gone through phases of like go-to shows during that binge watching like heightened experience. But like what's right now your go-to like 1 or 2 shows?
Well, I have been watching a lot of, I want to make sure I get the right cooking show, MasterChef.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so I made it through all 11 seasons of MasterChef, and it's made me a better cook.
Wow.
Like
I
got a cast iron pan, like go out to restaurants and just be disgusted with how they didn't properly sear the fat on my duck breast. So there's pros and cons. There's pros and cons. When things aren't good now.
Right.
Ignorance is bliss, right?
Right.
Oh, that's phenomenal. But that could also result in saving you money from going out so much. So that's, a plus. Because you're like, I could do this way better at home.
Yeah, so much better. And I've got a lot of dietary restrictions. And so it's just easier for me to cook at home anyway. And that's also kind of what got me, pushed me to cook more, is because going out to restaurants is just such a pain for me to find things that I can eat.
No kidding.
Mm.
What's your favorite? I could just do this all day.
Yeah.
What's your favorite thing to cook at home right now? Like whether it's comfort foodie or like it's winter, so I'm going to make this, or maybe it's just, you're just real good at making something.
Baked chicken thighs. I'll make peanut butter chicken. So I use coconut aminos, which are kind of like a soy sauce, and like avocado oil. And then I put like lots of onion powder and like nutritional yeast and other stuff on there. And then I like Italian seasoning stuff. And then I'll like cover them in peanut butter and I'll toss them in the oven. They're just delicious.
Really?
Yeah.
I've never thought to put peanut butter on chicken.
Well, a lot of food cultures have peanut sauce. So it's not so different.
It's a very good point. I like that. Ooh, I'm going to have to try that.
Yeah.
I'm definitely going to do it wrong though. So you can't come over because you're going to be like, this is all wrong.
If it tastes good, if you learn from it, it's not wrong.
That's true.
I think it was like the Blue Door that had like a peanut butter hamburger or whatever it was called.
Yeah, I think, is it Granny's or Grandma's? What's it called? It's on Hennepin. There's a few places that have peanut butter burgers. So that's probably one of the things that like originally inspired me. Oh, I have a question for you two. I was thinking about this yesterday and I didn't post it on Facebook. What is the weirdest sandwich you've ever eaten? I'll go first. One time I was dating this guy and he was really into the used. Not that means anything, but he made me eat this. It was peanut butter and mayonnaise and pickles on toasted white bread. It was one of the weirdest things I ever ate. I didn't hate it. So I'm just wondering, what's the weirdest sandwich you've eaten?
Honestly, the peanut butter burger comes to mind, really. I mean, that was just strange to me. I was like, you got this sweet peanut butter mixed with like this salty. I mean, it's not too far off, obviously, but it's a lot of protein. And it's just kind of like, whoa, okay. I'm way too full even before finishing it.
Yeah, maybe after a good workout.
Oh, yeah, something. But I knew I had a full day ahead of me. So it was kind of like, it's like, okay, it'll keep me going through the day. But
yeah, that's not something you want to take home and eat later.
Right.
No. I don't know. I'm pretty picky. So if something looks a little weird, I'll usually be the person who's not afraid to be like, no. Like I'm lame enough to be like, I'm comfortable saying no. Just being that person. I will say that I love peanut butter and banana sandwiches.
Okay.
And a couple people have told me that that's weird, but I've also had a bunch of people tell me that they like them too. So
yeah, isn't that like an Elvis thing?
Oh, I don't know. I'm gonna say so though. Yeah. I'm gonna claim it.
Banana, maybe bacon on there too. I think I've heard of that as a thing.
I don't like bacon.
You don't like bacon?
I don't like bacon.
Yeah, I was shocked too.
Which surprises everyone. But I just figure that's just more bacon for everybody else.
That's true.
Right? So
I'll take your share.
Yeah, exactly. I'm helping everybody else. And
I'll also the price of bacon down.
Yes, exactly. And like if I'm wanting like a treat or something, I'll do like on one slice of bread, like peanut butter, sliced banana, and then put like dark chocolate chips on top.
Ooh.
Oh my gosh. And now I want that. But yeah, it's really good. Really, really good.
Yeah. That'd be good as like, you could change that into like a pancake kind of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sounds good too.
Interesting.
I do like peanut butter on pancakes and waffles. I mean,
there's something.
Yeah.
Breakfast dessert. Who doesn't want it?
Right? Yes.
I don't think I've had
Leslie Nope about it.
I don't think I've had peanut butter on like pancakes before like that.
So good. I was weirded out at first and then I tried it and I was like, never again will I eat this without peanut butter. I always have one with peanut butter. Always.
Love it.
Wow.
Tells everyone that I eat a lot of waffles, but that's okay.
Oh, waffles. Oh, okay.
Waffles or pancakes, but yeah.
Okay. Is it like crunchy or creamy?
Creamy.
Okay.
Always creamy.
The waffles should have enough crunch on their own.
Yes.
That's true.
Exactly.
So maybe on pancakes, you could use the crunchy peanut butter. So you have that extra texture.
There we go. Yeah.
Now we're
that could be
thinking
good.
problem solving.
We should just open like a restaurant that just does different variations of pancakes and waffles.
Because those don't exist.
Yeah. Original Pancake House. You know what? Maybe I should.
Well, I like fried chicken, so let's just have fried chicken and waffles in the same place. So
also doesn't exist. Yeah.
But it's funny though. It's like I would think like crunchy, like whenever you like try to put over bread, sometimes it like rips the bread. I'd imagine pancakes might be the same problem. Maybe I don't know.
Maybe you have to heat it up first. You have to have the right temperature of
that might be it.
Spread on your pancakes.
That could be it. Yeah. See, she master chef.
What kind of peanut butter are you using?
Well, there's crunchy peanut butter, obviously. So
well, I mean, like what? But like what brand?
I don't know. It's just whatever I get, Jif or Peter Pan, or how many peanut butter brands are there?
I mean, there's one superior brand, and then there's like the rest.
Oh,
what are you thinking of, Skippy?
No.
Yeah. Jif. What's your? Is a Jif? Okay.
I'm Jif all the way. They have one. This is turning into a peanut butter discussion. They have one that has natural honey in it. It's excellent. Absolutely wonderful. Very pleasant.
I like the ones that don't have added sugar.
Yeah.
It's like, why do they have to add sugar to everything?
They really do.
Well, corn's subsidized, so.
Yeah, sugar and salt. That's what we add to everything.
Yeah.
So
we're going to rename the podcast Peanut Butter in Minnesota, right?
Yeah, this is really the peanut gallery. Yeah, it's we've redefined what we're all about here today. So Callan, from peanut butter to acting, give us the full spread. Like, how did you get started?
Good one. Well, when I was just a little peanut, I've always been performing. I was in dance, I was in choir. At one point this is on home video. So there's this picture of me. I'm standing in a little kiddie pool, right? And my sister's filling it with the hose. And I'm just like posing, like with my hand on my hip and my other hand on my head. And I'm just like standing there. And my mom's like, Callan, it's a moving photo. And I'm just standing there. My sister sprays me with the hose. I'm like, it's really funny. So I've always just kind of like been wanted to be on screen, I suppose.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So that, and like in school, we had musicals. In elementary school, I think it was 3rd and 6th grade, they did musicals. It might have been 3rd and 5th, hard to keep it straight. And then I was in, some musicals and stuff in high school. But at that point, I didn't really know how to audition. Mm-hmm. So I didn't take my first acting class until I was 20. And that's when I realized, like, oh my God, this is so much fun. I could do this for the rest of my life. And so it's always kind of been, in the foreground or the background since then.
Nice.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So then at what point was your first film role?
My first film role was in made in Minnesota film called Potpourri. And do you know about Potpourri?
I was in that. I ate a hand. I was a zombie. I ate a hand. Anyway, continue.
I thought we were there on the same day.
That would be amazing. Continue.
Yeah. So at that time, like that Twin Cities casting email was going out. And so I saw that they needed extras for Potpourri. So I showed up to be an extra one day in like the classroom scene. And, I just ended up in conversations with some of the actors and they're like, oh, you should like come back for this other film scene that we're doing. So I was like, okay. And so, that's how I kind of got in with the whole Restraining Hollywood Divinity Pictures crew. Mm-hmm. And I did a number of projects with them. This was probably about 12 years ago or so that happened.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so that's kind of where I was like, yeah, I like being on set. This is something I really want to do.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So you two were in the same film.
It was nice to finally meet you.
Right? Yeah, you too.
So more than a decade
Wild.
later.
Mm-hmm.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
Worlds
Being an extra on
collide.
that was really fun.
It was.
It was quite the experience. Like because it was, I think, one of my first like film experiences too. And so that was a fun one to learn on and just watch and observe. It was really cool.
Yeah. And then like I, I'm sorry, this is just very serendipitous. So I'm just trying to figure out like what did you both do, first of all? And then like yeah, were you in the same scene? What's
Were we in the same scene? What
I
scene were you
wonder.
in?
It was during like a house like ugly Christmas sweater party
Yes.
or something. Yes. Okay. Yeah.
I was wearing like a white puppy dog sweater and like a skirt and like I was the one that recommended that we write profanities on the face of one of the characters.
Yes, on Ryan, I think his name was.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep, Ryan Kaiser.
Gosh. Yep. Yeah, I was one of the zombies, so like running around pretending to eat people, and then they gave me a fake hand and put just like the coffee grinds and fake blood and everything in there, and it was a good like 5 minutes trying to eat that and not.
Ooh.
They probably took. I am. They probably
you don't put that on your pancakes.
No, they probably took a few shots of that in order to get one where I wasn't like. But like I'm a very picky zombie. But yeah,
the finest brains for you.
Exactly. But yeah, that's so funny that we were in the same scene.
Yeah, like, that's amazing.
Yeah, that's crazy.
How did you end up on that film?
Oh gosh. Honestly, I don't remember. I think I saw like a posting also needing extras, and so I was just like, "Yes, please."
Okay, you didn't put out a Craigslist ad saying "want to eat fake hands."
Like, I love eating fake blood. Please put me in any movie where I get to do that. No, I did not. Probably still would have gotten the role though, or the extra role. They probably would have been like, "Here's our girl."
Yeah.
give her a hand. But yeah, it that was awesome though.
I gave you a hand. I don't know if you caught that.
Oh, I caught. Oh yeah.
Yeah, Very I'm that girl that will tell people that I made a joke to make sure that they laugh at it.
I'm the same way. Except that most people, when I tell them, they're like, "Yeah, no, I got it.
I did this for you. Laugh."
Right? Like, but it was funny in my head.
Yeah. You gotta let the bad ones out so the good ones feel free to come out too.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So Callan, that's just too cool. Okay, we got it. We have potpourri in the house here. So we need all the behind the scenes as we go here. So
yes.
What role within filmmaking itself is most intriguing to you throughout the process?
Well, I mean, acting is obviously the thing that calls to me the most. I love putting myself in the position to perform, memorizing. I love the fact that it lets me. Is this a question you're going to ask me later? I don't want to like give away all the goods now.
Well, also within like the filmmaking process outside of acting, maybe. Like what function do you find intriguing?
I mean, I really like the cinematography scene and like framing and, I've always kind of looked at the world as like where I put my focus is the movie of my life. Where I'm looking is literally like me editing together, a film from my perspective. So I've always liked to think about life as a movie and myself as the star of my own life. So yeah, I think like, the cinematography portion and the directing as well is something that I could see myself getting into later in life.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
that's awesome.
Cool. It's a good time for it, I'll say, because cameras these days are more democratized in that sense, where it's more accessible, and there are more options. Even with like iPhones these days or like camera phones, just they're insanely good.
Yeah. And they're in the palm of your hand. You're taking them with you everywhere you go. You just point
Yeah.
and capture.
And now those like higher, more expensive cameras need to keep up with that technology in order to stay relevant. Otherwise, it's like, you know what? This is good enough for me, you know? And like I just saw one recently on Instagram of like a zoom in of the moon between like the new iPhone and the new Galaxy. And the Galaxy could like literally see the moon the way we see the moon, and the like iPhone wasn't quite there. But it was just kind of interesting to me to see that type of like depth of like how it captured the moon. I was like, is this real? You know?
Wow.
So yeah, everyone's kind of one-upping each other to the point where it's like, do we even need this anymore? You know, it's like, do we even need these other cameras? It's just kind of like, got me thinking.
The moment that people swap out those like phone cameras for actual like the fancy cameras that you guys have. I don't know anything about cameras, but the fancy ones, the phones are going to like skyrocket in price. As soon as they know like people are going to be using this full time for something like that, that's absolutely what's going to happen, which is going to be a bummer to everybody who's like, I just want to take a normal picture of my dog. Like,
right.
That's all that I want. And yeah.
That's why they have the levels. Like you can have the little iPhone or the whatever, the normal
the basic one. Yeah.
I paid extra for the phone that had all the extra lenses on it.
Yeah.
Me too. And I don't know how to use it.
But the pictures look great.
Pictures look so good. Now I just need a dog. That'll be set. That'll be great.
Yeah. It's because they came for like the basic cameras first originally, like your regular consumer cameras. So that's kind of out. Those are gone. You just need a phone. So
which is unfortunate. I kind of miss those. Those were fun.
I'm okay.
Which is funny because you're a photographer, a videographer. Like, anyway, Callan, what is? Just kidding. Not what. Who is your favorite actor?
Okay, my favorite actors, and this is going to seem really weird that these two are both my favorites, but for actresses, it'd probably be Cate Blanchett.
Oh,
you know, she's just amazing, and you know, such a serious actress. And like in Lord of the Rings, when she's Galadriel, and she's just like terrifying, beautiful.
Yeah, amazing.
And then you also see her as Hela in Thor Ragnarok, and she is just fierce. She's a badass. So I adore her as an actress. Yeah. And then my favorite actor is probably Will Ferrell.
Yes.
Because I love comedy. I am such a sucker for comedy, and he's so goofy, and he's been like he takes things seriously too. I mean, have you ever seen Casa de mi Padre?
No.
It's in Spanish. Like he learned how to speak Spanish for that movie, and it's brilliant. I love it.
Yeah, he's very committed. It's
so
very impressive.
Sorry. Yeah, did you see Don't Look Up?
I did.
What did you think about Cate in that? Cate Blanchett.
She's the news lady.
She is?
Yeah. You didn't realize that was her?
You know what? It wasn't even like halfway through the movie before I realized it was Jennifer Lawrence. Like,
right.
Yep. Oh, yeah, that's Cate Blanchett.
God.
The news lady.
She's a chameleon. She can do anything.
Yeah.
Right.
She was so funny in that role.
I just saw Nightmare Alley. She's a force in that film.
I think I know that one.
What's Nightmare Alley?
Guillermo del Toro's latest film with Bradley Cooper and Willem Dafoe.
Someone was just telling me that they want to watch that with me.
Oh, there you go. So Callan. What's your favorite thing about the acting process and why?
See, this is what I was going to answer earlier. So definitely, stepping in someone else's shoes, having that shift in perspective. It's such a challenge to like let go of what you believe and why you believe it, and to try and believe something from someone else's point of view. And, in the huge spectrum of human experience, where truth and reality is based on the individual and their perspective and what they believe to an extent, that can radically shift how you feel about things. So I also love that, when you do get put into roles that are different from yourself, it forces you to do some research and to learn about, other cultures or, other points in time, what was happening in the world at that time, just like creating that character, giving them a backstory, making it come alive for you so that you can embody that. That's what I love about the acting process.
I like that. That's I think there are roles within filmmaking that are very scientific, but then you have like acting, writing, directing that are very intimate with like the story and having that like level of empathy for a character based on where they're coming from, what they do, etc. Kind of like goes back to like Hitchcock, films and like subjective points of view based on how they're seeing the world. So it's very interesting to me to hear that. That's great. That's all great stuff. That's what I think makes cinema so unique.
Yeah, giving you the experience of what someone else might be going through. So we don't get so wrapped up in our own lives and our own problems. It's like there's a bigger world out there.
Yeah, it's kind of a nice break from reality a little bit too.
Absolutely.
Which I think we all need. Callan, have you progressed in your career so far as maybe you had like initially expected or hoped even? Love that response.
Oh, absolutely not. When I was young, in my early 20s and, so green and so new to it all, I had dreams of LA and like I was so like focused on the end goal. I didn't look at the steps that it takes to get there. And for most of my life, I was in the restaurant business. And so I was working nights and weekends, and it made it really hard to take time off and, really be able to commit to those acting opportunities. And on top of that, you don't know how much money you're going to make. And so, it took me a really long time to realize that, I don't have to give everything to acting and, be miserable and in poverty and everything. I read a book once called Real Artists Don't Starve. It's by Jeff Goins. And in it, there's a chapter that says, make money to make art. And that really, helped click for me because it's like, okay, you know what? I need that base level of stability. I need to know, where my money's coming from. I need to be happy in my life if I'm really going to be able to give myself to art. Because, if you're, there's a few people that give it all up and make it. They just throw caution to the wind and they go for it. And for them, it ends up being a success, but that doesn't happen for everyone. And so for me, I'm one of those people that I need to have a stable job. I need to know where my money's coming from, or, I just won't be able to take the steps that I need to. I won't be happy and fulfilled on that base level. So that safety and security is important for me. It's not necessary for everybody, but yeah. So, I finally got out of restaurants and I've got a day job now and I've got paid time off. And it's like, so I can actually set aside time to take off for projects that I'm working on. I have weekends, which is nights and weekends, which is when most people here in Minnesota, want to do independent film anyway. It doesn't work so much for commercials because that's more of, the work week business. But yeah, so I've got more opportunity now and have been in more projects this year, having a day job than I did when I was in the restaurant industry.
Right.
That's awesome.
that's an interesting statement. Make money to make art.
Mm-hmm.
So
I like
like
that.
when I think about that, I think about like how can I make enough money to make this film? Kind of like that's what I think about. Like
Mhm.
um because time is money now and things are, you know, obviously people who are in film have a pretty big sacrifice, as you know, from working on our film, Dana versus Judy. So it's like there's a lot of time and effort that goes into it. And um, we obviously want to see it come to fruition and make a good film. So that's very interesting to me that the book obviously had something of that type of revelation and how it spoke to you. Um, of all the roles you've played in the past, though, what have been your favorites? Like, what's something that stood out to you?
I mean, honestly, my favorite one is the one that I'm working on right now with you, Alan, Dana versus
Oh,
Judy.
I'm so excited! I am ready to make this film.
I'm excited too. And, I haven't gotten a ton of opportunities to play the leading lady. And I haven't gotten to have a fight on film yet. I've done stage combat for 6, 7 years. I've got like 600 hours of experience in stage combat, but that's more theater based. And
Wow.
so
Mm-hmm.
to get to like translate what I've learned there
Yeah.
into film and to actually, have it recorded and like brought to life in a whole new way to me is just so exciting and fulfilling. And it's like, I was meant to do this. This feels right.
That's so exciting.
Yeah. So I'm so grateful for this opportunity. And like the crew that we've pulled together so far has been just absolutely amazing.
Yeah.
Um, and it's been a learning experience for all of us. It's fun watching you learn, get this action under your belt.
Yeah.
And then to get to work with Lee, my best friend, Lee
Mm-hmm.
Fillingsness, and then to see Pete Wong add his flavor to it too, and just like bring us up to that next level and give us that authenticity. And I've been doing stage combat, and like stage combat and stunts aren't exactly the same because stunts is a little bit different. You got to translate it for film. But to see
Hmm.
Gael, who has a little bit of experience in it. Her last name's Palin, right? Gael Palin.
I believe so.
Yeah.
Yes.
Um, yeah, to see her, really like get into the fight and to see it
Mm-hmm.
at the level that it's at now, like I can't wait to see where it goes.
Right. Yeah. It's it's been months. I mean, I'm just like looking back at the calendar and it's just like ah. But everything happens for a reason and on time for what it needs to be. So if
Mm-hmm.
we don't have a huge budget like some of the films I've seen in town, it's like wow, they had a huge budget for this. But if you have the time, that's kind of a different resource because not everyone gets the time. So that might be a luxury that will be missing in other projects. So
True. And to have the time to like get into this character and to get into this fight, like it's almost more like being in a theater show where you have, that repeat time with people. You get to rehearse, you get to form those bonds. And, in film, you don't always get that time. A lot of times you're not having many rehearsals before you actually shoot it. And, it's hurry up and wait here today, gone
Mm-hmm.
tomorrow.
right.
Yeah. So, Callan, um, knowing this is your favorite role so far, or like up there, what are some films or performances that have maybe been the most influential to you up to this point, especially with this role, honestly?
Well, I've always been really big into high fantasy, like sci-fi and Marvel films. That's what gets me. Like I've been a Lord of the Rings fan
Mm-hmm.
since what was it, like elementary? I think it was like early junior high when Lord of the Rings came out.
Mm-hmm.
And so that really just captured my imagination. And, I think it got a little elf blood in me.
Absolutely. Those are
Yes.
hard not to love.
Right? Yeah, and part of that is that Peter Jackson put so much time into that world building. So people felt like they were those characters, like they were in that place, that the culture was elevated. And yeah, I love watching the behind the scenes of those because it just like sucks you in.
It's fascinating.
Yeah, the amount of time and energy and money that went into that is just like mind blowing.
Unbelievable.
Right. Yeah, Rahana can speak to Marvel films. She
kind of a freak about it.
Yeah, well, I mean, I am too. Granted, it's just, yeah. I currently don't have Disney Plus yet. I will. I'll get there. I kind of jumped from one to the other. Just
you're missing so many good things.
I know.
Marvel and Star Wars.
And both. Star Wars, yes. Right. Is there something you really want to do now more than ever? I mean, is there like a role out there that you've, maybe it's Marvel, maybe it's Star Wars, maybe it's, something that you really want to get one day or something, maybe. I don't know.
It's more of like an activity. It's not like a specific role, but once upon a time when I went to Columbia College Chicago and was in a stage combat class there, I got to do fly wires for like 10 minutes. And I took to it so fast. I was doing like double, triple flips and like spinning. And so I really want to like do a fly wire stunt at some point because it is just so thrilling.
That sounds so fun.
Yeah, it was like the best 10 minutes of my life.
Which I mean does fall in line with like the Marvel type of like thing because they use that for like all of their like so many different scenes in general, but especially fight scenes. So I mean,
yeah,
you can just put 2 and 2 together there and
all sorts of stunts and flying and
so fun.
I love watching the behind the scenes thing on Instagram. I follow a behind the scenes account. I don't remember what exactly it's called. But yeah, I watched that and I'm just like, that's so cool. I gotta do that.
Yeah. That's awesome. So what's next for you?
What's next?
Yeah. What's in the pipeline?
It's been a busy winter. This Dana versus Judy is like the 4th of a few short films that I've worked on this winter. Wow. So yeah, 3 of them are going to be in Z Fest, so I'm really excited to see that.
That's awesome.
Yeah. Otherwise, like, it's just going to kind of, I don't know. I'm going to work on some fight choreo with Lee. We're going to try to put together our dream fight, and hopefully that comes to fruition. We want to bring in other people on that too. So it'd be like me and him teamed up fighting other people. And I'm crossing my fingers right now because sometimes when you talk about things, they like never happen. And I don't want that to be one of these situations. Right. Yeah. So, but he and I will work on choreo pretty often. We'll help him work through ideas. He's the master of it all, but I've got the stage combat experience. And so like we actually work really well together. Yeah.
Awesome.
That's awesome. It sounds very fun.
Yeah, like I think about like taking on Dana versus Judy as a like action film, and mainly because I looked at my library on like iTunes or something, and the genre that had the most movies was action adventure. It wasn't like drama or like comedy or something, I guess, but it was all like in that genre, and I was just like, that seems pretty broad, but at the same time, it's like, if that's a genre I like, I should be making things that I like, so.
Yeah. And action and adventure, it has drama and comedy like wrapped into it.
Yeah.
That's true. So that's why I mean, it's kind of broad. It's like, well, it's kind of this, kind of that, so.
It can be anything you want it to be.
Yep.
Right.
A little bit of everything.
Right. Where can people find your work or contact you, Callan?
I do have a website, callankorpi.com. I'm the only Callan Korpi on Facebook.
Got some unique names this season. So
it's the theme.
Yeah. So, and my email is callankorpi@gmail.com. So my name's spelled CALLANKORPI. But I don't really like to give my phone number out, which I think a lot of ladies out there can understand.
Yes.
As you shouldn't.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like that's
Email me.
Exactly.
Unless you're Bill Murray and then it's like it goes to like the hotline or something, just a voicemail.
Yeah. Call me at 867-5309.
Right.
It's literally going to be in my head forever now.
Classic.
Yes. All right, Callan, last but not least, what do you want people to remember most about you?
I want people to remember how I made them feel. I love to make people laugh, and I just love bringing warmth and love to the room, and just getting excited about the work that we're all doing together. There's no better place to be than on set, so we may as well have fun, do it, and roll with the punches, whether it's a fight or not.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Love that. Well, thank you so much for joining us today. It was awesome getting to meet you, apparently for the second time. And
nice to officially meet you.
Yeah, and get to know you a little bit. This is very fun. Excited to see how Dana versus Judy goes. And thank you to all of our listeners for joining us. Until next time, this is Film